and sit down.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to a holiday edition. Where's your... I'm wearing an ugly sweater. Where's your stuff? Where's your holiday stuff? It should be festive.
I'm just
It's Christmas time.
Something. Well, I'm gonna be decorating my shoulder soon.
I think it's like almost yellow too.
So
weird. Welcome, everybody, to episode 35. I believe it's 35 that we're up to, correct?
Somewhere around
of the Super Grapple Bros podcast. I am your host, Murpho, and
DMurph.
And this week we are doing our Clash of Champions review.
They were champions, and they clashed.
Are you sure about that? Because I think a champion clashed in each match. Champions didn't physically clash with one another.
Well, I didn't say they clashed with one another. I just said they were champions, and they clashed.
You're being deceptive. Just like WWE was with the name of that event. It's technically Clash of Champions is when champions themselves clash in a match.
Usually. But that was Survivor Series.
Anyway, semantics aside and trying to make poor jokes aside, we're going to go ahead and break down Clash of Champions 2017. Then we're going to go ahead and talk about some news that happened this week. News involving the women's division, Vince McMahon trying to revive an old failed project of his, and news on Dolph Ziggler. Then we're going to go ahead and go into video games, and in the video game world, we're going to talk about PlayerUnknown's Battleground release, and I don't know what else. Some other things, I'm assuming.
Some games sold really well, apparently.
Yes. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Clash of Champions first match. The Hype Bros explode as we get Mojo Rawley versus Zack Ryder.
Yay.
It was okay. It was a good match.
Yeah.
It did what it needed to do.
Yeah.
Mojo looked all right. Ryder looked all right. Ryder won, which was the right call. Really nothing else that can be said about that.
Ryder won?
I mean, Mojo won, which was the right call.
Well, I personally think the right call would have been Ryder, but...
No, I would want Zack to win, but you gotta put the young guy over. You gotta put the young guy over. Even though I like Ryder more than Mojo, that was the right call. That's what needed to be done, and the match did its job. Nothing special or spectacular. On to the main show. Which match was it that we opened with? It was the U.S. title match?
The U.S. title match.
U.S. Championship match. Baron Corbin versus Bobby Roode versus Dolph Ziggler. And shock among shocks, Dolph Ziggler is your new United States champion.
For now. For a couple days at least.
For about 48 hours.
Yeah. But that was a good match. Yeah,
it was really good. That was probably one of the better matches of the night. I loved the ending.
I was just going to say I loved the finish of that match.
I loved it. It was so good. End of days into a zigzag.
Yeah.
Great. And it was like I saw that ending and I'm like I can't even be mad.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't even be mad. That was a great finish and Ziggler needs this championship win anyway. Like I didn't think it was his right time because I didn't think he had built up the momentum yet, but they gave it to him, and I'm like, I'm okay with this.
And like I said, the way the match went, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
The way they did. Like, the build-up wasn't great, but the way the match went.
And also, Bobby Roode was protected because he wasn't pinned. It was Corbin who was pinned.
Yeah, it was Corbin who was pinned, and he had literally taken a finisher at the exact same time that Corbin took.
Yeah, he got hit from out of nowhere, basically, when he was going to win the match. So pretty much everybody in there was kind of protected.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it was almost rock solid booking there.
Exactly.
So couldn't even complain. Very good match. I was happy with it.
Always been a fan of Dolph.
Yes, another champion. That's not Dolph's first U.S. title reign, is it?
Second.
Second, okay. When was the last time he won it?
I don't even remember. It was a while ago, though. I think it was when he had short hair still. Because there was that time where he cut his hair really short and dyed it brown. And then it went back to blonde, and it was around that time, I believe, that he won the U.S. title.
Yeah, I remember that. That was just weird.
Yeah, it was.
It's like, Dolph, what is you doing? It's not going to work. Don't do that. Go back to bleaching your hair.
Just stop. Stop it.
Stop it.
Stop it.
No.
Bad Dolph.
Bad Dolph. That's a bad Dolph.
Dolph no make brown. Bad Dolph.
Why did you have to go that far? Like, we were fine with where it was.
At least I didn't use any profanity yet.
It was a horrible joke. Like, I got what you were doing there. I saw what you were doing there. And it's a horrible joke. You should be ashamed. We should have a shame corner.
You're welcome, everyone.
No, not you're welcome. I apologize. Then we went on to the next match, which was the Fatal 4-Way Tag match of Usos versus New Day versus Benjamin Gable versus Rusev and Aiden English. And I forgot to say, by the way, Happy Rusev Day.
Yes, happy Rusev Day.
Happy Rusev Day to all of you.
And remember, everyone, December 25th, Merry Christmas and Happy Rusev Day.
Yes.
And then Happy New Year and Happy Rusev Day.
Happy New Rusev Year.
Yes. Exactly.
That's what it is.
It'll be the year of Rusev.
Yes.
I swear, if Rusev wins the WWE Championship next year, I'm going to be so happy.
Just
because it will be the year.
I would love to see Rusev win the WWE Championship. That would be amazing.
But he didn't win a championship on Sunday.
No, the match, that Fatal 4-Way match was interesting.
I liked it.
No, it was interesting I didn't not like it, but it was just interesting. Whereas it was a departure from traditional triple threat and Fatal 4-Way tag matches, where normally you have two competitors in the ring, and anybody from any team can tag in at any time.
Yeah.
And this one, every single team had one half of them, their members in there, and they could only tag their partner.
I kind of like that, though.
Yeah, I liked it. It was definitely nice. It was a nice change. It was fresh. It was new.
Yeah, I really like that.
So fresh, so clean. I don't know. That came into my head, and I just said it. I don't care if it applies. But it was a pretty good match.
It was
what I can remember.
I really liked it. Freaking what's his name? Chad Gable with all of those stalling Germans, including doing a stalling German to Big E, where he deadlifted him, stalled, and then hit him with a German.
Chad Gable is no joke. I think he's going to be a future WWE champion someday.
Probably. At least.
Hopefully.
At least lower tier. At least future United States or Intercontinental.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
But it was so good. And I really loved the ending of the match.
I'm trying to remember. I know that the Usos hit a splash from almost...
What they did is Chad Gable went to hit, I think it was Jay, with a German, the same kind of stalling German. And Jimmy grabbed him, pulled him down, hit Gable with a super kick, which brought Gable down to one knee, then hit him with another super kick, which brought him to the ground, and then they got splashed immediately
by
Jay and pinned. Mm-hmm. I really liked it.
I'm surprised that Aiden English or Rusev, mostly Aiden English, wasn't the one that took the pin in that match.
Well, I feel like the reason they did it that way is because of the fact of it was such a decisive way for them to get a win. It's not like they did a quick roll-up or something like that. It was, they beat Gable, but, I mean, he took 2 super kicks, which is one of their finishers, and a splash, which is their other finisher, to end the match.
Yeah.
So he was kind of protected in that way, because he, destroyed everyone else in the ring, and then was left alone and got double-teamed on.
Yeah, I'm just surprised. I thought for sure that Rusev and English were just in there to eat the pin. That's all.
Nah. I think they were there so that way they could get screen time and do the whole 12 days of Rusev thing.
Yes. Happy Rusev Day.
Happy Rusev Day.
And hello to Bowling Dude. Happy Rusev Day to you. He is in the chat. He's asking if Clash of Champions is worth watching now.
I say yes.
He said he missed it because I was singing in Disney.
All right. Nice gig.
I'm guessing he was. Widow MC Galloway. Thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate it. I can actually say that name, unlike the last person who I think, that one person who followed us a while ago. Yeah. Anyway, that's cool, Bowling Dude. He must have been, I'm assuming you went with like a class, on a class trip or whatever, because they do that. They'll have schools come down and bands perform and choirs and whatnot. That's awesome. That, yeah. We're big Disney nerds. We love Walt Disney World, so that's awesome. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Or if you were even in Disneyland, not Disney World, also good place, fun place to be.
Yeah. Which actually, fun fact, bringing Disney and wrestling together, the last time we were in Disney, I watched Takeover Brooklyn
from the hotel room
in our hotel room with our friend JJ, who goes down to NXT.
He's the, for those of you who don't know, he is the guy in the NXT crowd who's almost always wearing the purple Macho Man shirt on the camera side.
He's been changing up a little bit. I know I watched NXT this week and I saw him pop up somewhere and he was wearing a different shirt, but I can't remember what shirt. Yeah. But he's got kind of longish hair and everything. So.
But yeah, that's cool, Bowling Dude, that you got to do that. And yeah, I agree. I think Clash of Champions was worth a watch. Yeah. I don't think it was one of the oh my god, you have to see this pay-per-view, great pay-per-view, but it did not disappoint. Yeah, I was aside from maybe probably the next match we're going to talk about, that was probably Charlotte versus Natalya. There wasn't a single match where I was like,
yeah, the show overall was better than I expected.
Yeah, every single match I was like, I'm into this. I dig it. I can dig it.
Most of them.
No, even the main event, but we'll get to that later.
No, I agree with you on that. But there's one other match I'll just point out to you that I was like, okay.
Well, I kind of saw that coming.
Yeah, exactly.
But we're gonna go ahead next and go into Charlotte versus Natalia, which was a lumberjack match, and that was kind of
Yeah.
I really didn't like that.
Hey, there's only one face ringside. Did you notice there's only one face ringside? By the way, there's a lot of heels and only one face.
I will say the one thing that I did like though was that they had Carmella tease a Money in the Bank cash in. I was like, that's pretty awesome.
That was awesome. How she was like, wait, and then Ruby Riott was like, I don't think so.
Nuh-uh, not today.
There was actually,
I'm sorry for that.
There was actually something that happened in that match which I find hilarious. Apparently, Liv Morgan said something about Becky Lynch on Twitter, being like, no one wants to deal with your straight fire, blah, 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 whatever. And she came back with, yeah, well, no one wants to watch your wrestling anyway. And she put wrestling in quotes because she showed a GIF from the show of her clubbing her own teammate Sarah Logan in the back of the head during the Lumberjack match. Yeah. It was
fired.
Hilarious.
The match itself, though, was not hilarious. Charlotte won, and I really hope that this is the end of the Charlotte Natalia rivalry, because I feel like it's grown stale.
I think like Natalia might be gone for a little while, at least with her promo at the end.
Mm-hmm. So, I just feel like I feel like the chemistry that they had like years ago when they wrestled for the women's championship in NXT. Like, I feel like that chemistry is kind of worn out. Either that or it's just gotten stale. Or maybe it's the fact that, I don't know. It's just, for some reason, that rivalry just doesn't do it for me anymore.
It's not that interesting of a storyline this time around.
Yeah. Speaking of Carmella, by the way, Widow MC Galloway, our newest follower, happy Rusev Day to you. Carmella needs to cash in at WrestleMania, he believes. I could see that happening.
With what I think is going to happen, I do not see that happen.
Bowling Dude says SmackDown before. With their tease, I think maybe she'll do it at Rumble. But, well, I don't know. Like, who do you think is going to be competing at WrestleMania for the women's championship?
I'll address that when we get to the news that came up on Raw about the Royal Rumble. I'll get into that.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think now that I'm realizing what happened. Yeah, I actually agree. I don't think, based on what you just said, Carmella's not going to cash in by WrestleMania because that title's got plans. Big plans for WrestleMania.
Unless she does like a failed cash in.
Yeah. Because that would be a huge moment for the WWE for Royal Rumble. We'll get to that later. We'll talk about that when we get to that news. But yeah, I guess I would say then that Carmella's probably going to cash in after WrestleMania. Maybe the SmackDown after WrestleMania she'll do it.
Maybe.
But let's move on to the next match, which was we can call it a match, which was Breezango, the Fashion Police versus the Bludgeon Brothers, and there was certainly some bludgeoning going on.
Luke Harper's doing something. Let's stay positive. Luke Harper. Yeah, Luke Harper.
No, I like this gimmick that they've got going on, Harper and Rowan. I love seeing Harper being able to do stuff.
Yeah.
Rowan, I feel like he needs to be in a tag team, at least until they maybe find him something good to do.
Yeah.
I was kind of behind the whole, like, he's a secret intellectual thing for a little while, but that kind of fizzled out.
Yeah, the way I talked about it with a friend of mine the other day was, this tag team is kind of all right, you know what? Good for Harper. Good for Rowan. I mean, not so great for Harper. He should have been doing better, higher up single stuff. But you know what? At least Harper's doing something, and good for Rowan. Something's happening for him finally.
I'm just glad Luke Harper's getting work. I have always felt like Luke Harper is a solid, like, mid-level champion guy on his own. Could potentially be up there challenging for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, as we saw last year. Like, I loved the stuff that he got involved with Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt last year.
Yeah.
Like, that sold me on Luke Harper being able to be a solo star. But for some reason,
when he won the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah. And his rivalry with Dolph Ziggler around then was awesome.
Yeah, they had an amazing ladder match.
Like, I am sold on Eric Rowan being a single star, but Luke Harper being a single star, but I am also not, like, I'm not upset that he's in a tag match, because because I like him and Rowan together.
Yeah.
Sucks for the fashion police for Breezango, but we kind of all saw this coming.
Yeah.
Like for months, we kind of saw that they were going to be the first victims of the blood of Rowan and Harper's new repackaged tag team.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they'll make. I'm sure their Fashion Files is still, I think, a thing that's going well, and they've got a good gimmick going. I think they'll be able to recover from this.
Yeah. The main thing that I get upset about when I think about with Harper is I still believe that the biggest mistake WWE has made this last year is having Jinder Mahal win the Battle Royal to determine number one contender for the WWE Championship over Luke Harper, because he had a storyline already going with Randy Orton, who was the champion, and it could have made for a great match and everything, and they went to Jinder Mahal, and it upset me so much.
Yeah, and then we got a year full of Jinder.
Yeah.
So Widow MC Galloway back on the Royal Rumble thing mentions what if AJ Lee returns, and Bowling Dude points it out. Yeah, AJ's 100% retired. Maybe she'll come back eventually.
She might do a one-off or something.
Like she didn't really go scorched earth on WWE like her husband did, a Mr. Cookie Monster Punk. But or maybe I should say Christmas medley Punk, because 'tis the season.
It's the holiday season.
Holiday season.
All right, I'm done.
I was actually going to keep going, but we're not going to do that. Yeah, I think AJ would eventually one day be open to coming back, but I think she just wrote a book, and I think she's comfortable with the way where her life is right now, that I think she's fine with just spending some time away.
Well, so I'm saying I could see her doing something like, hey, first ever Women's Royal Rumble, let me pop in to do that. And by the way, while I'm on there, they can mention how I have a new book, and then peace.
Maybe.
Like, I don't think that's going to happen, but I could see it happening because of that. She has something that she could promote with doing it, so.
Yeah. Cam's in the chat. Hello to Cam. Happy Rusev Day to you. And he says that he believes that Rowan needs to be in a tag team to hide his inabilities, which we agree with, and said that Harper covers those up, but that Harper deserves better. I kind of agree. I wouldn't say that Harper deserves better, because like I feel like that's an insult to Rowan. I don't think Rowan's that bad. By that,
it's like he deserves to be doing things like being in a title match.
I agree with what he's saying. I just don't. I just feel like maybe putting it that way is almost like an insult to Rowan and an insult to them being in a tag team. That's the only thing.
All right. Well, what match?
Quickly before we get away from Bludgeon Brothers, one last thing from Bowling Dude. He suggested, trim Harper's beard a little and turn him an intellectual savior of the masses 2.0. That didn't work out for Sandow, so I don't think so.
I'm just gonna say, if Sandow were to show up in the Rumble, that building would freaking explode.
Is he rumored to?
No, but I'm
saying
that's
do
how
you know something I don't?
That's how over Sandow was. It was that if he were to randomly be like, you know what, I'm in the Royal Rumble, people would lose their crap.
Yeah,
over it.
Yes, they would. All right. Then the next match that happened was, the big old tag match, and I think Daniel Bryan's coming back.
He took a bump.
I think he's coming back, because he took a ref bump, and him and Shane's thing is like coming to a boiling point, and I think they're gonna keep burning this. And I think he got cleared by WWE doctors when he got cleared by normal doctors. And we're going to see Daniel Bryan wrestling again in WWE. And I think he's going to go up against Shane McMahon at WrestleMania.
Did you hear about what happened on SmackDown Live after
I
this?
did not.
In which, just one thing we'll point out, Owens and Zayn won because Owens and Zayn rolled up Orton, and Shane went to do the count, and he did 1, 2, and then just held his hand up, costing Owens and Zayn the match.
And Bryan got up in Shane's face because like, you're not being a fair referee, you're being biased.
And so to fix that, the next time Zayn got a pin,
which was pretty much right after that.
Yeah, he did a quick count, and you see Shane even dove to try and break it up, but Bryan did a quick count.
1, 2, 3
beforehand. And they had a promo on SmackDown, and it was more or less they were airing out their grievances. And Daniel Bryan was like, "Listen, I want to make sure that you're doing this for SmackDown Live, and you're not doing what's best for business, because I've already fought people over that for a long period of time. And I want Shane McMahon to keep SmackDown Live as the land of opportunity." And he was saying like he wants to work with Shane McMahon, not Vince McMahon, and things like that. And Shane was like, "All right, you know what? Fine. have fun with the show, Daniel, and left Daniel Bryan in charge of SmackDown for the night.
God, that's gonna be so good.
Yeah.
I want it to happen. And Bowling Dude says that putting him against Shane would make it easy to protect Daniel Bryan as well. I can see that, and I can agree with that. No, because if you think about it, Shane's the one. Shane's a crazy old man. Shane's the one who's gonna do all the crazy dumb stuff.
That's the joke I was gonna make until Shane jumps off and lands on Bryan's head from something.
Mm-hmm. Cam says if Bryan comes back, it'd be awesome. If he eliminated Shane in the Rumble, the building would erupt with him as a surprise. I don't think he's going to be in the Rumble. I don't think Shane's going to be in the Rumble either. What use does Shane have? What need does Shane have challenging for a championship when he runs SmackDown?
Yeah, if he wanted to, he could be like, hey, AJ, I'll see you at the Rumble.
Yeah. So, I don't think they want to have him come back as a surprise. I think this is going to be something to where, like, Bryan decides to come back to wrestling, not just because he wants to wrestle, but because he has this kind of blood feud now with Shane that's boiled over. And maybe they put a stipulation on it where the winner controls SmackDown, solely controls SmackDown. Yeah, right. Like maybe it's like if Daniel Bryan loses, he's fired as GM, and then maybe he becomes a superstar again where he wrestles on either place. Or if Shane wins, or if Daniel Bryan wins, Shane is no longer the commissioner of SmackDown and has to like maybe do something, and they figure something out. Or it's just a regular match, and then after that they stay in their roles, but they have that tension, or they get it out of their system, or they have a rivalry or something, and Daniel Bryan just wrestles in special one-off matches. Like he kind of has like a Brock Lesnar schedule almost, where like he'll wrestle at the big four and then maybe at one or two other pay-per-views.
Similar to Kurt Angle and stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good match though.
Yeah, it was a really good match. I loved the finish. One thing that had me a little confused though was, I mean, I guess they never disqualify anybody for this anyway, but given Shane's bias, I would imagine he would use it as a reason to disqualify. But when Zayn and Owens put, I believe it was Orton through the announce table, Nakamura through the announce table, I was like, if I was Shane McMahon and I really wanted these guys gone and wanted them fired, technically I could disqualify them for that. Why didn't Shane disqualify them?
Yeah, but at the same time, technically he could have counted them out at that point too. But anyway.
Yeah.
Good match, good end to it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
And I think one of the good things about this is I think Nakamura looked good in this match.
Yeah, for the little bit he was involved in, he did look good.
Yeah, but like I think it was good because it's helping to build him back up, because like he started off really well, then he didn't do well, then Jinder hindered him. He got that Jinder hinder there, and then he was like what happened to him in the Survivor Series was kind of bad. Like he didn't really do much, and he got taken out real quick by Braun.
Yeah.
So hopefully that maybe this is the start of him coming back. And another thing that I noticed, because I didn't see it in previous weeks, Randy Orton's got hair again.
Yeah, you didn't notice that?
I didn't notice that in SmackDowns this month. Randy Orton's got hair again.
Yeah, I was like... Hey.
I think it's awesome. I'm like, oh, look, it's 2004 Randy Orton.
No, it's midlife crisis Randy Orton is what it is. I have hair. It's not gray. Shh. Stop talking about the dye. It's not gray. And it's long. I am a man. Don't fire me.
Cam says, I mean, Shane is the commissioner. He could just fire them anyway. Yeah, he kind of could. That is very true. But I guess maybe they're trying to play into the fact that maybe he needs to fire them within good reason, but losing a match where he's a special guest ref and he deliberately screws them.
Yeah.
I don't know. Shane technically could just be like, you know what? Editing my way and firing them, but yeah. Wrestling! We'll do that. Okay, and then we're going to move on to the main event, which I think might have been Jinder Mahal's best match in WWE.
Yeah, I watched this match, I go, that was actually a good match from Jinder.
Yeah.
He gets a gold star! You don't deserve a championship, but you get a gold star, Jinder. You're on the way.
Yeah. This was the match. This is the kind of match that I was hoping Jinder Mahal would have his entire championship run.
Exactly. And it only took AJ Styles.
Yeah, it only took AJ Styles for the second time. But yeah, it was a lot of really good back and forth, some good counters. I feel like AJ really elevated Jinder's game. The Singh brothers got involved, but not too much to where it kind of took away from everything.
Yeah, and a lot of really good in-ring psychology there.
Oh,
especially with the working of the ribs.
He was working his ribs. That was great. That was great
also
storytelling.
Working Jinder's leg a little bit for the calf crusher at the end.
Mm-hmm. And the calf crusher is at the end, like that last one where like they really drew that out and it was awesome.
Yeah.
Like they know how to build the tension because everybody knows that they want AJ to beat Jinder, so they knew to drag that out so that way the audience could build up to a fever pitch and then explode when he finally tapped out.
Yeah.
So that was great too. Yeah, like that match, I saw that and I'm like, I think Jinder may have finally elevated his game. It took a month after his championship, but he finally elevated his game.
It's about time.
Bowling Dude says, am I the only one who likes Jinder as a champion?
Yes.
Probably, yeah.
Well, actually, I did see that there was one guy who decided to prank his wife by replacing all of their wedding photos, like the other day, with pictures of Jinder Mahal, because he's a big fan of Jinder Mahal. Yeah. And apparently Jinder Mahal saw it on Twitter and responded with, well, if she doesn't like it, maybe she's not the one.
I will say, like, I'm not, like, against the idea of Jinder Mahal as a champion. I just wanted him to be able to develop his skills in ring and build momentum and everything. And that didn't happen with his title reign, and it seemed, like, just dull to me.
Yeah.
But now that he's had this match, if they keep him away from the title picture for a while and he continues to have matches of this caliber with other people, I can get behind him challenging for the championship again.
Yeah.
Or I can get behind him challenging for the championship again and losing because I know he can start putting on entertaining matches.
Yeah.
Like with me, if somebody's a champion, if they're having entertaining matches and I enjoy their gimmick, I am not going to criticize them. Like that's why I was critical of Jinder. But I agree with Cameron, who said that like he thinks that Jinder is still going to be upper mid card with at least house based on the way that the match was booked, and I agree. I think he's still going to be upper mid card. Mm-hmm. He's definitely going to be challenging or in the discussion of like challengers to the WWE Championship for a while.
They're ever like, hey, we're going to have a fatal 4-way to determine the number one contender. Jinder's probably going to be in that.
And match. You know what? I don't mind. Like he's had his gimmick for a while. He's got the Singh brothers, and he's starting to like elevate his game in between the ropes.
Yeah.
Like that's okay with me. Now if he's hanging around the main event, that's fine. And then if he gets to the championship again, that's fine with me. I still think his first reign was one of the worst in history. Yeah. But that was because of how quickly he went from getting thrown out of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal by Rob Gronkowski, or helped by Rob Gronkowski by Mojo Rawley, to like about a month and a half later being the champion.
Yeah.
It was just too quick of a build.
Yep, I agree.
Bowling Dude, Jinder as the champion made me think I was playing the most realistic version of WWE 2K Universe mode ever. I agree.
Maybe in the past, it's not so much because it wasn't Brock Lesnar and then he was facing John Cena or Randy Orton every single month.
Right. I think actually when Jinder won the championship, one of the best memes was actually like an image of Jinder holding the title, and it said, "When you sim WWE Universe mode for a month." Yeah. When you sim Universe mode for 2 months in WWE 2K.
But yeah, good job on both guys. It was a good match overall.
Yes.
So what's the tally?
Clash of Champions, and the tally is goodbye everybody. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, goodbye. I'll just take this home.
Yes, we differed on 2 matches in the predictions. We both had Raleigh and we were right. We both had Bludgeon Brothers. We both had Owens and Zayn. We both had Charlotte. You had the Usos, which was right, which ended up being the difference maker because I had Rude, you had Corbin, and Ziggler won the U.S. title. We both had Styles over Mahal, so my reign is over. But it's okay, because not every reign can last as long.
It's okay.
And how many more times can reigns happen? I mean, somebody's got to be the first third time predictions champion. He's just gonna warm that for me for a couple weeks until the Royal Rumble, sure. And then I'll be able to hold it again. Okay. It's okay. It won't be too long. I've had this since July. Watch it. Don't knock the cord out.
Just trying to get your germs off.
You wish you had my germs on you.
No, I do not.
There you go. That was really weird, but yeah, it's fine. From July until December, that's a 5-month reign. Yeah. Good luck beating that on longest reigning, because it's not going to happen, because I'm going to have it again.
Okay.
By the Royal Rumble. What are you doing? Can you not?
The number.
Oh, the number. I thought you were doing something else there. Yeah, you're not going to hold it for
on my rib cage. Oh, yeah.
Freak. Anyway, let's move on For the love of God, watch the cord. You got to watch the cord now. That thing is fickle. It will fall out.
You watch the cord.
Wrestling news on from Clash of Champions. The first big piece of news, because we'll go into the Vince McMahon thing later because it doesn't entirely have anything to do with that. First bit of news, we'll go in order of like how they happened on the show. So on Raw,
order of operations.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
We had a huge announcement on Monday Night Raw with regards to the women's division. Please don't do that. I hate that, man.
Freaking huge.
Oh, that huge.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Billy Fusillo.
Yes.
Billy Fusillo, car dealer in upstate New York.
Exactly.
You keep derailing me from my train of thought. I keep trying to say stuff, and then you throw in random things.
You're welcome.
Anyway, yes, a momentum. Will you stop it?
Nope.
There was a momentous announcement on Raw for the women's division. Can you stay on topic and tell the people what that announcement is?
Yes, Stephanie McMahon announced that for the first time ever, we will be having a women's Royal Rumble match at the Royal Rumble this year, which brings up a little bit of a logistical issue that I realized.
What's that?
Total, they have 20 active superstars on the main roster that are female, and
so what?
2 of those are champions. So that's going to be a lot. It's either going to be like a 20-person Rumble or a lot of substitutes.
It's probably going to be like a 20 or 25 woman Royal Rumble. I wouldn't be surprised if they say like a select number of NXT women will be able to enter into the Rumble. It doesn't mean they'll be on the main roster, but if they win, that means that they will then join the main roster and challenge for the title. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see some NXT women in that Rumble. Probably be 20, 25 women total.
I think it's going to be 30. At first I was like, oh, that's a little interesting.
How could it be 30 if you have 18 women?
Because you have 18 women on the main roster. You could put people from NXT on, like you said. Like, I could easily see Nikki Cross being in it and then going up to the main roster with what they seem to be doing with her. I could see them putting some people from the Mae Young Classic in.
I
could see them maybe getting a couple people from the past, like maybe Beth Phoenix or someone to show up. And then the other person I think is going to be in it.
Well, first, I disagree with that. Mainly, especially if you're not going to have older people that others. I feel like a few people from NXT are okay because it's a small handful, a couple, but not as many people watched the Mae Young Classic compared to who watched the main event. So
that's what I'm saying. Like, one or two people.
If you have 18 people, if you have 18 superstars, and it's going to be 30 total, you're loading up almost half of your Rumble with superstars that the regular television audience does not know.
Closer to a third, but yeah. That's what I'm saying. If they want to go up to that, they could do it where they have some people like that. And like I said, they could have people like... actually, they would have 19 because I had forgotten about Alicia Fox. But you could have people like Beth Phoenix or...
That's why
Victoria,
I think 25 is better. Okay. I think 25 is better because the women from the Mae Young Classic, if they're not signed, they're either in NXT, some of them are in NXT now, or if they haven't signed, I don't think WWE wants to give them main roster exposure.
True.
When they don't have a contract.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They might do something like Kairi Sane or something.
Kairi Sane's on NXT, so she counts as an NXT person.
Yeah.
That's my point. Like, say you've got 19 now, you want to do 25. Say you get Beth Phoenix and Victoria, that's 2. That puts you at 21. And then you put in 3 of the NXT women. It's only 3. That's not that much. So you get, like, Nikki Cross, maybe Ember Moon, maybe Kairi Sane. The 3 main eventers. Put them in there.
They might do 4 because instead
or maybe Billie Kay or Peyton Royce.
I was gonna say maybe Billie Kay and Peyton Royce
instead of Ember. And then you get one more person who
will probably win.
I think we both think will probably win, which we'll get to that in a second because I want to drop back to the actual announcement and talk about how the way this announcement was made. If you didn't watch it on Raw, you should go see it because what they did is that's hilarious.
Yes.
Kelly return. That's hilarious. But no, that's not what we're thinking.
Could happen.
No, Kelly could be one of the people who like maybe returns if it's not Beth Phoenix or Victoria. But anyway, or Melina.
Or Eve.
Yep. Anyway, what happened on Raw is Stephanie McMahon went to the ring with all of the Raw women, superstars, in the ring, and then made the announcement there was going to be the first ever Women's Royal Rumble match, that they were going to make history again after she had a long spiel about how the women have made history over the last few years with the first ever Women's Hell in a Cell match, Money in the Bank ladder match, what other matches were there? Survivor Series match, Iron Man match. But the thing is when she made this announcement, they didn't tell any of the women.
Yeah.
Beforehand. They just brought them out there so that way they could get their genuine reactions. And seeing their genuine reactions, like, I'm not crying, you're crying.
Yeah.
They brought all aboard the field trip, pretty much.
Just one other person I thought of that could quite possibly be in the match, which would make total sense, but would also be a bit of a surprise. Maria.
Maybe, but...
Because, I mean, she came back and then her husband got injured, but yeah.
We can come back to that. But I just want to say how awesome it was to see all their genuine reactions. Like, Sasha looked bewildered. Bailey looked just dumbfounded, shocked. Alexa and Alicia were overly happy. Paige almost broke down crying. It was great. Mickey was in pure shock. Nia Jax was in pure shock. I just thought it's
really cool.
Such a cool, good moment, and I'm kind of glad WWE decided to surprise them. It was kind of like a genuine way to reward them as employees and workers for the company by putting them on TV and giving them the genuine reaction. And it's a good treat for all the fans and the viewers so they can actually see their genuine.
Yeah,
because that's something
it means to them.
That's something you don't normally see in wrestling nowadays.
Yeah, exactly.
So I just wanted to point out how awesome that was.
It was. I just am gonna feel so bad for them when Santina wins again.
Santina.
I said Santina.
Okay. Yeah, Santina's going to come back. That's who we think is going to come back and win. No, it's not really.
No, it's actually Stevie Richards.
No, not that either. But yeah, as nice as it's going to be for all of these women to be able to compete in the first Royal Rumble match, and I think it's going to be great. I don't think any of them are going to win. We both believe that what's going to happen is we are going to get a surprise entrant who is training at the WWE Performance Center right now.
Yep.
And that is somebody who once dedicated a performance, or maybe I should say competition, to Rowdy Roddy Piper, because she shares a nickname, that was a tongue twister, with Mr. Piper. And that is Rowdy Ronda Rousey.
Mm-hmm.
We both believe that this Royal Rumble is going to be not specifically engineered, not to undermine the whole, this is they want to do this because it's a historic thing. They do. But this is basically going to be the vehicle to introduce Ronda Rousey into the WWE on the main roster.
Yep.
She's going to be a surprise entrant. Nobody's going to see it coming. And it's in Philly.
Yep.
Philly is going to blow its roof. They're going to go insane. It's going to be towards the end. Maybe she'll be the final entrant.
Mm-hmm.
Entrant number 20 or 25, whatever they do. And music will hit, and nobody will know until you see Ronda Rousey on the screen, her name, and she walks out, and everybody will go nuts.
Uh-huh.
And then she will win the Royal Rumble, beat the crap out of everybody who's in there, and she will go on to WrestleMania to battle Charlotte for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Yep. That's exactly what's going to happen. Book it.
Book it. Write it down. This is what Super Grapple Bros predicts. We're saying it right now. Write it down and remember that. In how many weeks is it until the Royal Rumble?
I don't even know.
4, I think. They normally do it a week or two before the Super Bowl, and the Super Bowl is always the first weekend in February.
Yeah, I think it's the last weekend in January.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So remember that in 4 months when we come back, and we will either be like, "Well, wow, we were dead wrong," or we'll be like, "We told you."
You mean
told you so?
Weeks, because you said 4 months.
4 weeks, yes, 4 weeks, not 4 months.
Yeah.
But well, anyway, technically, in 4 months, it'll be April, and we'll be able to know if we were completely right about the whole angle or not.
True. But anyway.
So now we'll move on to other news that broke on SmackDown.
Well,
via promo.
Thing. Dean Ambrose is out of action now.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He done got hurt.
R.I.P. and peace, Dean, but not really because you're not dead. You're just off screen for a while.
Yeah, a lot of people thought Seth Rollins struck again, injuring yet another superstar, but it turns out he got injured a few months ago, and it's just gotten to the point where he can't really deal with it anymore. And they're like, "All right, let's go get this taken care of." And he went and had tricep surgery recently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's an injury he's had since October,
and he's gonna miss WrestleMania.
Yes.
Bowling Dude was saying that we're making him more hyped than we should about the Royal Rumble.
Well,
and it's the 28th.
Ah, there you go. Yeah, should be a hell of a pay-per-view if everything lines up the way it looks like it will.
Yeah.
With the exception of maybe the Universal title match, but whatever.
I'm excited for it. Kane will do a good job, and Braun versus Brock is always awesome.
Yeah, but I wish it was something else. But anyway.
You wish it was Balor, I know.
Yep.
We can still hold out hope for the February pay-per-view.
Either Roadblock
or March.
Elimination Chamber or whatever the hell they want to do.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. No more Dean Ambrose, and also no more Dolph Ziggler?
Yeah. Dolph came out, did a little promo on SmackDown talking about all the things he's done throughout his career and showed footage of it, and people still continue to boo him. So he was like, well, if you want something to remember me by, I'll give you something to remember me by. And he literally just like...
You just don't actually do it there. There you go.
And then just walked out. And left the title behind.
So I'm guessing he's not injured, is he? He's just gonna take a leave?
Yeah, he's just like I said, he's apparently still, from what I heard, he's still scheduled to go to all the live events, but he's not going to be on television for a while. It's some kind of long-term storyline they've got planned for him.
It's probably his WrestleMania storyline. He'll probably be involved in the United States Championship match for WrestleMania, where he'll maybe like the Universal Championship stuff United States Championship stuff will continue to go on without him. They'll crown a new champion, and then he'll come back and reinsert himself right before WrestleMania.
Something like that, yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how exactly they're going to pull that off.
Yeah. Because I'm a big fan of Dolph.
Yes. And he is here to show the world. Because he shows off. Hi.
No.
My name is Dolph Ziggler.
No. You wish.
Okay, fine. I do not wish you a happy Rusev Day. I rescind my happy Rusev Day to you. Because you would not shake my hand. Final piece of news today involves Vince McMahon on the wrestling end, actually.
There's one other thing I wanted to point out.
Mm-hmm.
There was a match this week on NXT of Pete Dunne versus Tyler Bate for the UK Championship.
Mm-hmm.
And during that match, Tyler Bate literally dislocated his finger in the middle of the match. Dunn had bent his arm back like this, his fingers were up against the ring, and then stomped on his elbow.
Oh.
And you saw his finger actually dislocated and him pop it back into place and then continue the match from there.
Yeah.
And it was, I have to say, it was one hell of a match. It was at least 20 minutes
I gotta watch
long.
it. I didn't get a chance to catch it.
It was real good.
And we have a new person in the chat, That Wrestling Guy. Happy Rusev Day to you.
Happy Rusev Day.
And yes, you did actually find a wrestling talk show on here. We are a wrestling and video game podcast every single week here on Twitch, also on YouTube and in audio form in various places. So if you don't catch us live, you got a bunch of other ways to find us. Yep. Which we'll break down at the end of the podcast. But now that we're beyond NXT, we also know who's going to compete in the fatal four-way now for the right to challenge Andrade Cien Almas for the NXT Championship.
El Idolo.
Yes.
Yes. The matches that took place were the first match was Killian Dane.
Thank you, That Wrestling Guy, for the follow, by the way.
The first match for the tournament was Killian Dane against Trent Seven, in which Killian Dane beat Trent Seven. And it was actually a pretty decent end to the match, despite it being quick.
Mm-hmm.
It was literally
he pulled a partial Sin Cara, Bowling Dude said. I think that was about Tyler Bate.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. He just kind of hit him with what they call the Belfast Blitz, and then hit him with a splash off the second rope, immediately after, and pinned him. But it was a quick match. I felt like not quite what Trent Seven deserved, but whatever.
To be fair, he hasn't held the UK Championship yet, and it doesn't seem like he's going to be doing like. And he's the guy out of the 3 members of British Strong Style that like has seen the least amount of screen time on WWE television or programming, so it's fair.
Yeah. And I just wish I did better by him because he's really good.
And it was Lars Sullivan, right? Killian Dane. Yeah, well, I mean, they're trying to build up Killian Dane to be a main eventer, and a monster.
And then the next match after that was that night. It was supposed to be Cassius Ohno versus Velveteen Dream.
Oh no. What'd you just say?
He lost.
Oh my god, that's a good one.
But because of injuries that Velveteen Dream apparently got from the hands of Aleister Black, he was not able to compete and was replaced with surprise superstar Johnny Gargano.
Which, yay, Johnny Gargano, Johnny Wrestling.
And they had a hell of a match.
I'm sure they did.
And Johnny Gargano,
Johnny Wrestling versus Cassius Ohno.
Yeah, it was like Cassius Ohno like beat the crap out of him. Yeah, that's right, Big Stupid.
I will still wish you a happy Rusev Day, Big Stupid, despite the fact that you are complimenting DMurph on winning the Predictions Championship for the first time in 5 months. 5.
Yes.
5 times.
For the first time in 5 months, we didn't tie.
No, I beat you once or twice.
Okay, so 1 or 2 times.
We made these rules. Don't complain about the rules.
I agree.
Because then what if you tie, huh?
I'm not complaining, I'm just pointing out.
Yeah.
But anyway, Cassius Ohno was like beating the crap out of him for a good amount of the match. And it ended with Gargano doing a Hurricane Rana into the Gargano escape and got him to tap out. Mm-hmm. But man, that match was so good because it was 2 guys who lately, like the last match that Cassius Ohno had was against Lars Sullivan and he lost. And a lot of Gargano's big matches that he had recently were against people like Andrade, and he lost. And he had a UK title match against Pete Dunne, and he lost. And it was 2 guys who both really needed a win, going all out.
That's exactly what that wrestling guy just said. He said Gargano and Ohno both needed a win, but they both came out looking like gold despite the loss for Ohno. I've got if he's this high on it and you're this high on it, I've got to watch it because just on paper it sounds like a really good match.
Another thing I loved about it, something you don't see too often. They shook hands before the match, and after the match, they did like a little
kind of like
sign of respect.
Yeah, kind of like old school ROH type deal.
But it was really, really good, and I want to take care of that there.
No, just go ahead. Don't even acknowledge it.
The next match after that for the tournament was Aleister Black versus Adam Cole, which was a pretty good match. And one of my favorite parts of it was, I believe Aleister Black had, what's his name? Adam Cole, and I believe it was a headlock. And Adam Cole got out of it and immediately went to the corner and just went, Adam Cole, baby!
Baby!
And, like, did that a few times to piss off Aleister Black. And the end of the match was so good because Aleister Black just goes and knees him right in the face, and Cole just crumples to the floor. And he picks him up with his foot, and Cole's like, come on, what have you got? Come on. And Black Mass just knocks him right out and pins him. So Aleister Black continued on. And then the last match was Lars Sullivan versus Roderick Strong, which I think was a pretty good match because of the fact of it made Roderick Strong look like he can endure a lot and showed that he does have the potential to possibly beat Lars Sullivan, but Lars Sullivan, with his brute strength, managed to get the win.
Lars Sullivan is another guy they're trying to build up as a monster. Yeah. And like I couldn't see Roddy Strong winning this, especially when I see his big match coming up for the next takeover or whenever their next big event is going to be, or whenever they want to blow it off. His whole shtick right now is with Adam Cole, Roddy Strong versus Adam Cole, which is going to be amazing.
I think
so. I didn't see Roddy or Adam. Yeah, but they can do it again.
True,
they can do it again.
But that's not what I think storyline is go to, because what I think is going to happen from here is, who do you think is going to win this Fatal 4-Way match?
Aleister Black.
I don't think so.
Who do you think is going to win? It's Johnny Gargano versus Aleister Black. I feel like Killian Dane and Lars Sullivan are going to cancel each other out. And then if you've got Johnny Wrestling versus Aleister Black, Johnny Wrestling wasn't originally in there. You're not going to have Aleister Black have his first loss in a Fatal 4-Way match.
I think he might not be pinned, but I think he's going to lose at the hands of Adam Cole and Undisputed Era, costing him the win because he beat Adam Cole to get into this match, which could lead up to Adam Cole versus Aleister Black at the next TakeOver, lead to Gargano getting the win, going to face Andrade, who he's had a bit of a rivalry with and has not been able to beat yet for the NXT Championship. And I feel like during that match is when Ciampa's going to come back and distract him and cause him to lose the match, which is going to lead into a storyline between them, and Andrade could hold it a little longer until he eventually
could
like
work,
Aleister
but
Black or something
that's
like that.
reliant on Ciampa being back from injury.
He's already
in time.
healed.
But I don't know. Maybe Gargano shows up in this match and costs him, and we get Gargano versus Ciampa going into
maybe
into the next TakeOver. I feel like they're trying to build up Aleister Black like such a big deal, and they always talk about his undefeated streak and how he's undefeated.
Well,
but
he
I don't
did
think
lose
that
his very first match, but he's been undefeated since.
well,
then,
they wow, wrestling guy actually liked your booking, but I feel like no, it's a good idea. I just feel that they've been making such a big deal about Aleister Black that I think they're going to have him win this, and he's going to end up beating Andrade, and I don't think they plan on having Andrade hold the title for a while. But I mean, I could very well be wrong. You've planned it out very well.
Yeah.
But I feel like they want to strap a rocket to Aleister Black and have Aleister Black win. And I feel like maybe Lars Sullivan or Killian Dane could hand the first loss off, or maybe even Adam Cole will beat him for the championship, so we can get Drew McIntyre versus Adam Cole.
Maybe.
But you had a much more thought out theory than me. I'm just going on the fact that they're really harping on Aleister Black undefeated, and they want to. I feel like they won't. I feel like they won't have him lose.
Well, I mean,
until he loses the NXT Championship.
Part of the issues with the booking with that though is with the harping on someone being undefeated. Another person they keep talking about who's undefeated is Lars Sullivan. And that's why I'm saying with that, if they were both to lose this match, it's a matter of they won't be undefeated, but they will go on with, as they usually do, of saying he's undefeated in singles competition.
Pull a Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
But my thing is, I'm okay with Sullivan losing because he hasn't been on a winning streak as long, and you've got Killian Dane in there who completely cancels him out, and you can have them cancel each other out, and then they could go head to head against each other.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying I feel like they might do it this way because then you get a good match and good story out of, Gargano and Andrade, and it would lead to Aleister Black versus Andrade at the TakeOver for WrestleMania, as well as Gargano versus Ciampa at the TakeOver for WrestleMania.
But then then the question is, what do you do with Adam Cole until he in the meantime between now and TakeOver?
You have him feud with Aleister Black.
No, because you said Aleister. Oh, yeah,
that's right. Next TakeOver after that.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
That's why I'm thinking that's gonna happen. But we have to wait and see.
I still like Adam Cole and Roddy Strong though.
Oh, I do too. I'm not complaining about that, but I'm just saying they haven't really been building that up as much. And there's something else that can happen in the meantime. But anyway.
All right, that wrestling guy says that if Black wins the NXT Championship, he will be the next Asuka as far as title reigns go. It could be.
Could
if
happen.
He's the one who wins the title and they build up that undefeated streak. That's what I'm thinking, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Moving on to the final bit of news involving Vince McMahon. You want to talk about crazy old Vince trying to bring back an old project of his?
Yep. Apparently, Vince McMahon has just recently sold, I believe it was around 3 million of his shares, somewhere around that, of his stock in WWE, and made him about $100 million. Has used that to start a new company, I believe, called Alpha Entertainment or something along those lines. And one of the trademarks that they have gotten, which it's been a rumor that Vince McMahon is looking to spread out into more sports entertainment stuff, one of the trademarks they've applied for is XFL. So it looks like Vinnie Mac might be bringing back the XFL, or at least some kind of football league.
I hope it's some kind of football league and not the XFL, because in this day and age, the XFL was an okay, not great idea when he first did it. It is a horrible idea to do now. You don't want extreme football with all of the, with the fact that all the concussion tests that are coming out and all of that stuff, and people like wanting to not like trying to get that violence out of the game, and people being like a little weary of like big hits because of people with concussions and stuff like that. Like, you see, Bowling Dude actually just agreed with me with everything. Like the way that people handle concussions now, the XFL will not work.
Yeah,
like people will not watch. They don't want to see these people get hit in ways that when they're 40 or 50, they're going to be suicidal bipolar vegetables.
True, but that's why that's not the only trademark they've applied for. They've applied for trademarks for things like
that's why
United Football Alliance and things like that.
That's why I said if they do a football league, it might work, but like they can't go the extreme route because it's not going to work with the way the concussions are nowadays. I could
easily see them doing something like calling it something else, using similar team names and stuff like that, and maybe do some kind of promotion of like, oh, remember the XFL, blah, 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 something like that, and just having the trademark for the sake of having it in case they want to use it for something.
Yeah, like they could use it as like this is the evolution of the XFL. Yeah.
I personally was hoping that he was going to be using this money to do something like buy a football team and not necessarily start a football league.
I don't think Vince McMahon has the time or the patience to run a football team in addition to running the WWE.
I agree, but I feel like it would be less likely to fail than XFL 2.0.
Well, I don't know. It all depends on what the league is going to be like what the rules are going to be.
Yeah, I know.
Because they also got to realize that like they're not just competing against the NFL. Like the CFL has like a reasonably like good audience in Canada too. So it's like you're competing with the NFL in the US, which is just a mega behemoth, and you're dealing with the CFL in Canada. And viewership for the NFL has been down this year. Not that like not like football's at any risk of going away or anything. I'm just saying like that market has been shrinking. It's not expanding. So it's like you're up against stiff competition, and who knows if the shrinking market is going to invest in what you're doing.
True. I have a feeling that he's going for, and I kind of hate to use this way of saying it, I think he's trying to make the TNA of football, because part of the reason I hear that he's trying to do this is because of the fact of with everything going on that has been said by President Trump, as well as things that have been going on with people like Colin Kaepernick. A lot of people have been turning away from the NFL, so he's trying to do this as a way to capitalize on people who want football.
You do not make an investment that big on a gamble like that. You don't.
No, I'm not saying that.
And that's also him getting political, and like Vince likes to throw in his go Team USA, go USA and storylines in WWE. But the one thing I can say about Vince, he is very smart when it comes to politics. He makes his politics not really known to anyone, and he keeps it very secret. The only things that we really know about him politically is when Linda ran for office twice, and he financially supported her because it's his wife. But like he very rarely like speaks on his politics.
But I'm not saying he's going into the politics of it. The idea is that people have seen that there are a lot of people who have stopped watching the NFL because of these politics, and he's not getting into it because of politics. He's getting into it of, well, I want to do this, and now is a good time.
My point is that those people aren't watching because certain players are kneeling in protest. You don't know if the protests are going to go on forever, and if the protests end, once they end, those people might very well go right back to the NFL. Like what you're trying to do is build up a league and start it to take away, to grab those viewers when you have no infrastructure whatsoever. By the time you build that league and debut it, those viewers may already have been back to the NFL and you've missed your opportunity.
But that's implying that that's the sole reason he's doing it. A lot of people are saying that one of the reasons he's thinking of doing it now is because of the timing. He's been wanting to do it, and he's saying that might be one thing that might benefit them. Not that that's his main idea, but it's, hey, that might get us a few extra viewers. Who knows?
I don't know.
That seems to be the general idea.
From a business standpoint, that sounds like a horrible reason to.
You're right. Doing this whole football thing is a terrible idea, but
no, I'm saying doing it for that reason, because that's a gamble with no guarantees, and by the time you get everything going, that opportunity that gamble might not be there anymore. It's a gamble. You're gambling on a gamble.
Yeah.
That's not what you don't throw $100 million at a gamble of a gamble.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Do you think that it's a terrible idea for him to do the XFL again? Or some kind of football league?
Football league? I don't know, because I don't know what I don't know what they're gonna try to do with the league. I don't know what the rules are. I don't know like how many cities they're gonna do it in. I don't know how big or how little he's trying to go.
Okay. Well, the point I'm trying to make is here's the idea of I want to do a football league, and then it's while he's in the process of doing this, because this isn't a recent thing. If he's been planning on doing this, he's been planning it for a while.
Mhm.
It's well, I'm gonna do this, and oh hey, this might happen to work out. I plan on doing this anyway, regardless. But this is happening, and that might boost our numbers. I don't know. If so, yay. If not, whatever.
Mhm.
That's the way they're viewing it. It's not what they're betting on. It's just they've been planning this, and
It all depends
that's
on
something that might help them. And if so, hooray!
it all depends on how much money they invest, because you don't like again, you don't invest that much money for a hey, let's take a shot. If it does well, it does well. If not, oh well.
I understand that. I'm saying that's their feelings towards the whole thing with people stopping watching the NFL, not towards them doing the whole division, everything. That's what their thoughts
And
were
the other-
in regards to that with the NFL.
Another big challenge with them is that the NFL has expanded itself to the point to where there are now games not just on Sunday, but there are games all day Sunday, Monday night, Thursday night, and then this time of the year and during playoffs, Saturday night as well. So like that's 4 nights out of the year, and then 2 of those 4 nights, Raw and SmackDown. What do you are you gonna air your football games every Wednesday or maybe every Saturday during the day?
Every Monday and Tuesday night at 11 p.m. USA Network.
So like that's another challenge right there. As a
Yeah,
matter of like where's it gonna fit in?
I agree with you on that, but
the wrestling guy,
Vince.
the wrestling guy says, "Would you guys watch it if it comes to fruition?" It all, like I said, it all depends on the rules. It depends on the rules. It depends on if there's a team in New York. It depends like on who's playing.
I'll just state
So
by
we'll see.
saying I don't watch regular sports during my free time as it is.
I'm a big sports fan, so I might watch it. Like I said, it all depends on it depends on circumstances. Depends on how big the league is, depends on what their aspirations are, depends on what the rules are, depends on if they have a team in our area. I might watch the first game out of curiosity, but if I stick around, I don't know. It all depends on how the league's gonna. I have to know more before I make that decision.
For me, once again, it's I barely get enough time to watch the wrestling I do and play any video games at all if possible. So chances for me, probably not, unless it's somehow tied in with the wrestling or something or whatever. But most likely, no.
Big Stupid says that he watched 30 for 30 they did on the NFL, and he says that it bothers Vince that the XFL failed. And I agree. I think it's bothered Vince the XFL failed since the moment the XFL ended. I think he's been wanting to do this since the XFL failed,
Yeah,
but
probably.
I just don't know if now is the right time.
Yeah.
I don't know if there ever will be a right
Who
time.
knows? It might work out when they get head coaches Jonathan Cena and Dwayne Johnson.
So yeah, that's
wrestling.
That's kind of. That's what Vince wants to do. That's just a little news on Vince McMahon. And that's gonna do it for our wrestling part of the show. We're gonna transition into video games. Not a very big video games thing, but we hope you guys get some good video games for Christmas.
Yeah.
I've asked for a lot of games this Christmas, actually.
And I know what games you're getting.
Well, that's
and
because
I
you
know which
bought
games
Christmas
you're
gifts.
not.
I asked for a lot because I haven't been able to. I haven't had the time to play a lot of video games, so I haven't bought much.
Yep.
I did buy The Division for myself though this
Yeah,
week.
you told me about that.
I don't know if you. Unfortunately, if you guys are checking this out now, it's a little too late. But The Division, it's a good game. The end game when it first came out was not that great, but I still enjoyed it. I love the setting, New York in the winter.
Yeah.
And so Ubisoft through their Uplay store, they were doing sales. They were selling the Gold Edition, which is The Division with all of its add-on content plus all of its pre-order stuff for only $27. So I jumped on that for PC.
Very nice.
So it's fun. Apparently the end game for that has been is a lot more friendly and a lot easier to find stuff to do and whatnot. So I'm looking forward to that. As far as Christmas stuff, games I asked for Christmas, I think I asked for asked for Call of Duty World War II, Horizon Zero Dawn, Star Wars Battlefront 2,
Oh God.
Assassin's Creed Origins. It's Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's Star Wars. Even though I didn't really like The Last Jedi, I had my problems with The Last Jedi, and the Battlefront 2 was a mess. I still want to play it. I still love Star Wars. Assassin's Creed Origins I mentioned.
Yep.
What other games came out this
WWE,
WWE I asked for? FIFA, Madden, NHL, all that stuff.
all the sport.
Yeah, and that wrestling guy is glad that he found the channel. We're glad that you found the channel too, man. We like having more people. Yeah, historic day.
A historic Rusev day.
We have a firm number on how many people, on how many days you have to beat, and how long of a reign you have to beat. South Park game as well says Big Stupid. Yes, South Park, the fractured butthole. Giggity giggity.
Yeah. I personally was just looking for, if I can remember correctly, I said like SNES Classic if it's even feasibly possible.
Yeah, I asked for that too,
whatever.
but I doubt it. Oh, I asked for a Switch as well.
Yeah,
I asked for a Nintendo Switch with, and I asked for, well, I'm crossing my fingers and praying that my girlfriend got it for me. So I asked for a Switch with Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild.
I asked for Assassin's Creed, WWE. I don't even really remember what else because I didn't ask for too much.
Did you ask for Destiny 2? Or no, you bought Destiny 2.
I have Destiny 2, yeah. Well,
I got you Destiny 2 for your birthday because it was a late birthday gift.
Yep. Thanks again.
You're welcome.
Man, I'm trying to remember.
Did you ask for South Park?
No, I did not ask for South Park.
Horizon Zero Dawn from
Uncharted Lost Legacy.
Okay.
Shadow of War.
Yes. I think I asked for that too, but now I'm kind of like,
I'm still interested to play it a little bit. WWE, of course. And I think that's basically it. Other than that, I asked for things like I got to ask for a Haunted Mansion tie.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I asked for the and this actually ties in. I asked for the Dragon Ball set where it's like a set of the 7 like actual orbs that are Dragon Balls. And speaking of Dragon Ball, one game that I can't ask that I want for Christmas, but I want is Dragon Ball Fighters, which has been unveiling characters like crazy. None new this week, but we did get some news with Dragon Ball Fighters.
I don't know the exact date off the top of my head. I could do a quick Google search, or you could.
You Googleize it, and I will say that Dragon Ball Fighters, which is coming out in January, I believe January 26th is the release date. It is going to have...
I actually have it up already. January 14th.
January 14th. It is having an open beta. That is like 3 weeks away.
Yep. Which is cool.
I can't wait. I am so excited for this game. I mean, it's the guys who made BlazBlue. And like I've played one BlazBlue game mostly because like I'm not great at fighting games, but it is fun as hell. And like those guys making that game, oh my god, I cannot wait. I'm a big Dragon Ball fan. I cannot wait. I spend hundreds of dollars on the super card games. So,
and I spend dollars on mortgage. Boo.
Yeah. That's what you get for having a family.
Yeah. Money going to things that aren't video games. Yeah.
Yep. So that's one piece of news was the Dragon Ball Fighters
Dragon Ball Fighter Z beta. This
make sure you try it. Make sure you play it. It looks fun. I haven't played it, but I want to get my hands on it.
Yeah, I'm excited to try it. There isn't really any new Overwatch news this week, but personal Overwatch news. I got to play a little bit more of the holiday event.
You just went and came up with your own reason just to do your little jingle for your weekly Overwatch news.
Well, mostly to talk about Overwatch because Overwatch is so good. I finally got the peppermint skin for Sombra from last year's event. Unfortunately, I was only able to get 1 loot box, but I got 3 holiday items in it. I got that. I got a voice clip from Zarya, and I think I got an icon or something like that. But yeah, the if you haven't tried it yet, go ahead. The Yeti game, where you get to play as a Mei Hunter or a Winston Yeti, is a lot more fun than I thought it would be, and you should go give it a try.
And then the big news that we have for video games is that PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds has officially become 1.0 on PC.
It's finally
officially launched. It's been prettified. We got to take a look at it a little earlier. It's basically what was on the public test server, so which is what I've played. So
yeah, don't worry, Big Super, your champ is here for you, giving the people what they want.
Now for long.
I guess you could say I'm the new people's champ.
No. Let's move on. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. It's just like the public test server. So the new desert map is in it. The new user interface, which is so much better than that church.
Yeah.
Like I never thought that the menu for PlayerUnknown and interface for PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, I never thought it was bad. But then they came out with a new one, and I'm like, Oh God!
This
It's
is
made
better.
me realize how bad this old menu is.
This makes me realize how crappy that church is.
Yeah, this is much better. So the new interface is really nice, really sleek. They have introduced replays, which are like highlights now. So if
Yeah.
anything hilarious happens,
Replays, kill cams, all that fun
yep,
stuff.
you can check that stuff out. They also have a new game mode, which is hilarious. If you're feeling really ballsy and you want to try your luck and really roll the dice in PUBG now, you can do.
It's your Rusev day.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, and you can do a one-man solo squad game where basically you're like, yeah, I'm pretty good. I can totally go up against a bunch of people who are in 4-person teams.
And then
that'll totally work out for me.
You make it into the top 95.
Yeah, out of a game of 96.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, hey, that guy just got killed, and then you die watching that guy get killed.
Yep. Oh, I am so gonna make it. So I totally picked the best spot. Nobody's gonna land at this. Oh God, there's a whole squad here.
Oh Jesus. Oh Jesus.
So yeah, basically now there is a game mode in PUBG where you can. It's basically a squad game with solo queuers as well. So you'll have 4-person squads and some solo people. One thing that I didn't see though, which was unfortunate, that is not in the 1.0 release, that was in the public test server when I last checked, was squads were broken up into 3-man squad and 4-man squad games. So unfortunately that's not there at the moment.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. It's very unfortunate.
But yeah, PUBG is live. A little bit updated interface.
Yeah, it's about time.
Updated menus, replays.
An award at the Video Game Awards.
Yep.
God, I still find that ridiculous. Releases after the Video Game Awards, but qualifies for it.
But I can't stress enough how much I love PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. If you guys have been watching me when I actually used to be able to stream video games, when that was a thing, back before I got my current job, you guys know how much I love PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. I still love playing PUBG. Pick it up. If you haven't tried it yet and you have a PC, pick it up. And even if you have an Xbox One, there are some technical issues there, but soldier through it. I think it's worth it. Or wait until it gets fixed, then buy it.
Yeah, because I was gonna say I've been hearing from some people that it's basically unplayable at this point.
Yeah. Ugh.
Good old public G.
Well, then wait for it to get fixed, and then the moment that all the issues are fixed, drop that money on that game.
Yeah.
Do it. Just like Ziggler with the title, just drop it. And then disappear. Don't.
I'm just waiting for it to come out on PS4 eventually.
In like 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe.
I got Overwatch and stuff to keep me busy. Overwatch, Destiny, all that fun stuff.
Yeah. And so that's it in video game news as far as I can recall. Is there anything else that you can think of that happened that was big that I might be forgetting about?
In video game news?
Yes. In the world of the video games.
Not really that I can remember. The main thing I've been hearing about is, oh my god, PUBG.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I've been hearing.
Pick it up and throw it out the window. The money or the game? What are you talking about? No.
If you're going to throw money out the window, at least throw it in my direction.
Yeah, right? Well, tell us, just get into our, slide into our DMs, send us your address, and we'll wait outside your window for that money that you're going to toss.
You know what?
Totally not creepy at all.
You know what? Better yet, we'll set up a P.O. box, so if people want to just send us money, you can just send it to us.
Yeah.
Then I could afford PUBG.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
How would you be able to afford a PUBG? By being able to buy an Xbox? Or a PC?
Or a PC or something.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a new house. Then I'd be able to fit a computer in it.
I think you can fit a computer into your house. You're just not trying hard enough.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's
you say that when you've got a 2-year-old running around and destroying everything.
You know what I would probably do? Just take like a giant plastic case to put over my tower and just drill air holes into it and then just drill it into the ground. Be like, try to get into that now, kid.
And
Good luck.
Do wonders to the hard floor of your house.
Worth it.
I like Big Stupid's idea there.
No, we don't have a setup for that anyway. But that's not gonna happen.
It's okay. I can make sure that we take pictures later, and I can post them online.
He's gonna take selfies.
Yeah.
And that's just and it's only going up on his account.
And I'll play #gorgeous while I'm doing it.
But that's going to be it for this episode. I believe it was episode 35 of the Super Grapple Brothers podcast. Thanks again to Widow MC Galloway and the Wrestling Guy will you knock it off? Thank you guys for following us and joining the Super Grapple Bros fam, being a part of our viewing. And people still get to it, I promise you.
Yeah, they're tricky. They'll somehow find a way to use peanut butter to get to it too.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much again for watching. For everybody who came into the chat, Big Stupid, Cam, Bowling Dude, thank you guys. Really enjoyed the discussion this week. You can find us live on Twitch every single week at twitch.tv/L_Murpho. Well, not every single week, most weeks. There's some weeks where we get busy and either one of us has to go solo or we have to skip. Traditionally every Friday and Saturday. So be on the lookout for us then. That's at twitch.tv/L_Murpho. Again, you can watch us on VOD there. And then you can also find us in VOD on YouTube as well. That is youtube.com/LMurphoReel. You can find our episodes there, watch them back every single week. We are also in audio form on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and lots of other places where things are, where podcasts are, where things are. I'm a pirate. You cannot pirate the podcast, or maybe you can, but I prefer you don't.
Please. I mean, we don't really make money off of it. But
we'd appreciate it more if you instead shared, and subscribed, because and reviewed, because reviews, especially in the podcast places in audio form, help us get noticed more. You can also email us at supercrapbros@gmail.com. You can send us any questions, topics of discussion, any trivia that you may have.
Gonna have to come up with some soon.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
Got to do some Royal Rumble trivia.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
Yes, and you can also find us on Twitter. We tweet whenever we go live on Twitch. That way you guys are aware, because we know that we have like full-time jobs and ridiculous lives, and we can't have a dedicated time every Friday or Saturday to do it. So follow me at L_Murpho. He is at
DMurph_42.
And just keep tabs on us, and we will tweet whenever we go live for the podcast. I believe that is everything.
Yep, and we will leave you all with another article headline from Kayfabe News. And this week's article is Matt Hardy suspended for violation of WWE's lesser-known mental wellness policy.
That's a good one. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. We're out of here, guys. Merry Christmas to all who celebrate it.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays. It's a little late, but happy Hanukkah, joyous candle nights, whatever you celebrate.
Festivus for the rest of us, all that kind of stuff. We won't say Happy New Year, though, because we should be back next week to wish that for you guys.
Well, we could still wish it to them and then wish it to them again.
If you want to be repetitive, sure.
Why not?
Fine.
That's what a lot of superstars
do it. Do it, Mr. Champ.
Happy New Year, guys.
All right. Take care, everybody. We're out. Deuces. Deuce. Peace. What the? Are you Alexa? Who is it who does that again?
Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, I was going to say, are you Alexa Bliss? Get out of here with that.
Pete Dunne?
Get out of here. See you later, guys. Take care.
Shut up and sit down.